Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's your Captain Bashir Fadl as we continue our journey through Salesforce development using epics. Today, we're going to talk about what's called collections. Collection is a type of variable that can store multiple number of records. For example, I can store multiple number of account object records using what's called a list, which is a type of collection. There's other ones. So number one is types of collections. Number one is a list. A list is an ordered collection of an element that are distinguished by their indices. Number two is sets. A set is an unordered collection of elements that do not contain any duplicates. Number three is maps. A map is a collection of key value pairs where each unique key maps to a single value. So let's examine those. As we've said, lists can contain any number of records of what we call primitive collections or Salesforce objects, user-defined and built-in epics type. So let's go ahead and create our first one. So we're going to go into debug, open, execute, anonymous window. We're going to copy and paste our code. Again, don't hesitate to go to Kinsey Tech to download your code. So we're entering this right here. And as this list contains the list of primitive data type, which is string, that is the list of cities. Let's go ahead and execute it. And let's look at our output. And sure enough, value of list of cities. Now, to further kind of explain the capability of lists, let's go ahead and create another one. And this time we're going to declare the initial values of list, which is optional. So we have New York, LA, Las Vegas. Execute. Let's look at our output. And the statement says value of list of states, New York, LA, Las Vegas, which is what defined in our code. As you can see, lists can become very valuable. So they have their own methods. There's methods for lists. Let's list them out real quick, which includes size, add, get, clear, and set. So those methods are available for a list, which we can be utilized while programming, so we can achieve functionalities like calculating the size of the list, adding an element, and so on. So let's examine an example that does that. As you can see in this example, a little bit more extensive, we try to cover the size, add, get, clear, and set methods within lists. So you could actually run each one of those and be able to kind of see the output. Also remember, anything that has those two backslashes basically means it's a comment. So it's not going to be read, but it's for us to be able to read it and know what it does. So we try to put the explanation next to it to show us as you were using each one of those. Again, remember, for any of the code segments, simply just go into Kinsey Tech. In my opinion, it's such a great investment in your pursuit of Salesforce administration and Salesforce development to visit kinseytech.com and register for the Salesforce Admin and Developer Plus Certification Exam course, because there you're going to find tons of subject material in administration and business analyst and in epics development that's very valuable to what we're pursuing here. All you have to do is click through the subject that you're interested in, and you'll be able to watch the video that's related to it. In some cases, there's also explanation in there in terms of verbiage, and the code that's explained in the video in some of those cases is also included. So if I find a trigger that's being explained and I want to try it out, all I have to do is just copy that trigger into my developer console, be able to run it and follow with the course as well. In addition to that, at the very end of the course, if you scroll down all the way, you're going to find a lot of certifications exams. In this case, for the admin, there's over 200 questions. All I have to do is click through it. You'll find the explanation. Once you're ready to take the quiz, you'll click on the quiz, and you have your multiple choice right there. If you get the right answer, it scores it as right. If it's wrong, then you'll be told why it's wrong, given the explanation right then and there. So it's a great value as you pursue administration and development in Salesforce. And if you enjoy this session, please don't hesitate to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll greatly appreciate it. So as you're using this code segment, you're going to find how we've used and leveraged the add method for list, and we've added New York and Ohio. And again, the comments, this statement would give New York and Ohio as output in our debug logs once we execute it. Here's using kind of the get method, the get element at the index 0. And then when you executed this statement, we'll give New York as output in the debug log because we went with the initial value, which is the 0. Because the index starts with 0, then 1, then 2. I've also noticed over the years that some people could use the array notation as well to declare the list. So this would look slightly differently. Let's look at what it's going to look like if we use that. And again, this is not usually the case, but some people would use that, which makes it, look more like an array notation. And that would work in Epix as well. That's acceptable. But now let's proceed to what's called sets. A set is a collection type which contains multiple number of unordered unique records. A set cannot have duplicate records like lists. Sets can be nested. Let's go to debug, open our code, and see what a set looks like. So we have Corolla, Camry, RAV4. And let's go ahead and execute it in the order of Corolla, Camry, RAV4. Execute. Debug. And you can see the order is different now. So we had Corolla initially, and then Camry, and then RAV4, but now it's Camry, Corolla, RAV4. So a set is a collection type which contains multiple number of unordered unique records. And now with this example, we can see that methods do exist for sets as well. So set does support methods which we can utilize while programming, as we can see. So we do have our add method. We do have our remove, our contains. So those are all different methods that we could use with sets as well. Another collection type is maps. Remember that a map is a key value pair which contains the unique key for each value. The unique key for each value. Both the key and value can be of any data type. So let's look at this example here, which represents the map of the product name with the product code. Similarly, methods could be used for maps, as we can see in this example, where we can use put, assert, and map values may be unordered. And hence, we should not rely on the order in which the values are stored and try to access the map always using keys. Map value could be null. Map keys, when declared string, are case sensitive. For example, ABC uppercase is different than ABC lowercase. So what are some of the values of collections? In the past, if you've worked with Salesforce a few years, you would have noticed that previously it used to be difficult to manage records for various clients because the software, it's just not easy to kind of manage all that information in one place. That situation improved a lot with Salesforce Collections, because with Salesforce Collections, companies can now start to organize customer records in one place, which helped in improving customer satisfaction for sure. And then in conclusion, collections in Salesforce are various types that can contain numerous records. In other words, collections are groups of records that are of similar type. Collections have the ability to dynamically rise and shrink depending on the business needs. Collections in Epix can be lists, sets, or maps. And there's no limit to the number of records that can be stored in a collection. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please don't hesitate to subscribe to our YouTube channel and go to Kinsey Tech to be able to download the code and work with it much readily. Best of luck. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next episode.